It should introduce the motion days after being sworn in to award money to a third party who gave campaign money to Ridley Thomas.
You can't make this stuff up.
The news is brought to you by Cunning Dental. A doctor in Florence says the uncertainty of the pandemic is partly to blame for a national mental health crisis among kids.
The American Academy of Pediatrics and 2 other pediatric associations have declared children's mental health a national emergency. Torrance Memorial Medical Center Director of Behavioral Health, Dr. Mo Gelbart, says parents should take this seriously.
The levels of anxiety, depression, despair, substance abuse, suicidal thoughts, suicidal attempts, thoughts of self-harm are all increasing dramatically.
He says parents can watch for signs of isolation, sadness, or changes in behavior and seek help if their child is specifically talking about depression or self-harm. In Torrance, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
Dr. Dre's ex-wife reportedly has served the rapper legal papers at a cemetery in L.A. where he was burying his grandmother. TMZ says Dre was so mad he refused to accept the papers, which were dropped on the ground Monday by the process server. Human remains have been found in a nature park in Florida where officials have been looking for the man wanted in Gabby Petito's murder, her fiancé. The FBI's Michael McPherson says parts of the park are going to stay closed.
We ask the public to maintain distance from any law enforcement personnel, equipment, vehicles, and other related activities for the safety of the public and to protect the integrity of our work.
He says the remains were found in an area that until recently had been underwater. Federal investigators say they've recovered the flight data and cockpit voice recorders from a plane that crashed in Texas. NTSB board member Michael Graham says the boxes are being sent to a lab in Washington, D.C.
We do know that both the recorders had suffered heavy fire damage.
The plane crashed before it even got off the ground yesterday. It skidded off the runway at Houston Executive Airport and burst into flames. All of the nearly 24 passengers and crew survived. 2 people have minor injuries. It's slow on the 5 in Burbank.
We're looking at the southbound side, and delays are loading up, getting away from Hollywood Way. You're on the brakes all the way to the 605 freeway. It's a huge mess out there. A lot of people heading into the area of Chavez Ravine to make their way to Dodger Stadium. That northbound side of the 5 loading up as well out of Norwalk from Carmenita all the way back towards Riverside Drive. Let's check in with Mike O'Brien. KFI in the Sky, sponsored by injury attorney, superwomansuperlawyer.com, Mid-City.
Yeah, we hit a little trouble spot here on the 10. 10 eastbound at Washington. Looks like they're off to the right shoulder on that. But boy, I tell you, it really adds to a very tough drive today. Starting about Cloverfield, right out of downtown Santa Monica. Ride the brakes all the way to downtown Los Angeles from there. Now, if you continue on to the 60 eastbound, that loads up just a little before the 710. First stretch heavy over to Paramount, and then again, it'll load up into Hacienda Heights there, on and off the brakes out to Roland Heights, and the merge with the 57 in Diamond Bar. North 57, on the brakes now from pretty much Diamond Bar Boulevard to Grand. Injured in an accident? Visit superwomansuperlawyer.com. Mike O'Brien, KFI in the Sky.
KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Angel Martinez.
The Medicare annual enrollment period, well, it's now here. It's open. And navigating Medicare, that can simply be overwhelming. Why? Because every plan is different. They change every year, and sometimes significantly, and you have a unique situation and budget. You're just different from your neighbor. AGA Medicare Options will compare most of the major plans at once at no cost to you. They'll help you find plans that are accepted by your physicians, cover your medications at the lowest out-of-pocket cost, and even if you're already on Medicare, or you're about to go on Medicare, set up a free benefit review from AGA to ensure you're still on the best plan or will be, and it's absolutely free. Dial pound 250 on your cell phone and say the keyword My Medicare. That's pound 250 on the cell, say My Medicare, or visit AGAMedicareOptions.com. That's AGAMedicareOptions.com.
Want the best possible price on your next car? Download the Roto app. That's RODO. Roto lets you browse thousands of vehicles from local dealers right from your phone and even offers contact-free delivery. And with Roto, there's never any haggling. The price you see is pre-negotiated and already includes every available discount. There's no hidden fees and no surprises. Just 100% transparent pricing. So for an easy car buying experience, download the Roto app now or check out roto.com. That's RODO.com.
The KFI Financial Report brought to you by Bay Alarm. The Dow closed up 152, S&P 500 up 17, NASDAQ down 7. And the average price of a gallon of regular gas in California is $4.52.
Bay Alarm will keep your commercial fire system in compliance so you're up to code, not up all night.
Southland weather from KFI, partly cloudy tomorrow. Highs mid to upper 70s for Metro LA, mid 70s to low 80s in the valleys, upper 70s for inland OC, upper 70s to low 80s in the IE. Right now 72 in Orange, 68 Huntington Beach, 81 in Northridge, and 75 in Sun Valley. We lead local live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Deborah Mark.
We'd like to formally welcome you to the rest home of Old Joe. Welcome to Bidenville, everyone.
All men and women created by you know the thing. My mind's going blank now. Whether or not there's a man on the moon or whatever, something, or whether those aliens are here or not. I can't remember. Anyway.
I got them $1.9 trillion released so far.
Last night I was on television. I was on the telephone.
I wrote the bill on the environment, pay them more.
I'm not supposed to take any questions, but go ahead. I want to thank that fellow down under. Thank you very much, pal. Appreciate it, Mr. Prime Minister. For Secretary of Health and Education, I nominate Javier Baccaria. President Harris and I took a virtual tour of a vaccination center in Arizona. The guy who runs that outfit over there.
And now, to give you a tour of Bidenville before your extended stay, here's John and Ken.
John, Cobell, Ken Shefo, KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, just a reminder that in less than 15 minutes or thereabouts, you'll get another keyword to text in to possibly win $1,000. Lots of KFI listeners are already winning as the contest returns to the airwaves this week. So at about 20 after, you'll hear the key word, so don't go anywhere. We got polls for Bidenville today. The first one I saw was from Rasmussen, and this is a big one. Now, we've had 9 months of watching this guy in action. 58% say he's not up to the job to be president. 58%. That's a significant majority of people.
Wait, don't you think it's way more than that?
No, because people that are loyal Democrats and hated Trump are not going to ever give in.
Well, they're not going to.
Ever. Doesn't matter what he does.
They're not going to say it to a pollster. But what are they saying at home?
Oh, yeah, privately they're probably muttering.
Isn't that what really matters? I mean, a public poll is kind of stupid when partisan people never say the obvious about their guy.
Exactly.
I would have to think like about 90% of the public realizes Biden is shot.
I think he still got 70% for better support from Democrat voters.
Oh, yeah.
Who just won't admit their mistake.
Right. Yeah, they won't admit it, but they can't possibly believe that he's capable of being a president.
53% said they believe other people are making the decisions. This is probably what we always expected. There was another poll released from Quinnipiac. It's the old stupid approval rating, 37%. That's it. 52% say.
Because I think the more accurate is independents.
28% gave him a thumbs up. 56% said down.
Right. So I'm people who don't have a silly emotional investment in being a member of a party.
Yeah, because it's 80-11. Democrats favor the president's performance 80-11.
You know, that's because being an emotionally committed member of a political party to me is kind of childish. It's a sign of stunted emotional growth. I mean, you get excited when you're part of, a 5-year-old t-ball team, right?
Right.
But if you're like 48 years old and you're a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat or a hardcore Republican, doesn't that say something about your mental capabilities? It's a political party filled with corrupt people. And, the parties are filled with Mark Ridley Thomases. On both sides. That's what it's about. What are you getting emotionally involved with that? So, I got to think virtually everybody who can sit upright can see that, he's a bust.
A Politico morning consult poll released today also found that 62% of registered voters are assigning a lot, or at least some blame, to the Biden administration policies for inflation.
Oh, absolutely.
The people are starting to really notice the large uptick in prices for things, and they don't like it.
He flooded too much money into the economy.
Too much stimulus.
Yeah, inflation goes up when there's too much money. And you know, that's why people are buying things like crazy, which leads to a huge infrastructure backup around the world with the supply chain. This is all connected to people having too much money, and when there's too few goods, it starts bidding up the price of the goods.
In fact, Fox did its own poll today too, Fox News, and they found that 9 out of 10 people find inflation to be a really bothersome, troublesome problem. They think it's one of the worst problems. On top of that, 84% say that rising gas problems are right now a big problem for their family. So this time it's not just California seeing this, so we've got the highest prices in the country.
You know, what pisses me off about him, because he and his whole administration, his whole staff, they lie like hell. They're always playing a misdirection game. They're carrying on that this new spending plan is going to have no taxes for people under $400,000, except people are getting bent over with these gasoline prices. That's the tax.
Right.
Because you dumped so much extra fake money into the money supply, now the price of gas and everything else is going way out of control. Transportation costs to deliver things. I mean, those cargo containers were $2,000 a container that companies would pay, right? Now they're 10 times that. They're more than $20,000. That's all going to be reflected in the price of goods that people are buying. So there's your tax. He's, all his stupid green energy ideas create inflated energy prices. So you're paying more for electricity, more for oil and gas. That's your tax.
In this poll, as I mentioned, 87% are very concerned about inflation and higher prices. It was the leading concern for people, but they also rated Biden's performance very poor on not just the economy, but, of course, immigration. 34% approve, 62% disapprove.
He's half dead. It's almost cruel to bring up his performance. He's not capable.
Well, but he's never running the show. We should start to do something.
Except they don't care. They don't care.
Well, they're going to lose control of Congress next year badly, and
what?
All of their big spending ideas will be completely out the window.
That's why they're trying really hard to get this done. They know they're doomed next year. So that's why the most dangerous time is right now. Because after the first of the year, congressmen will be in primary campaigns. Primaries run from March to June, roughly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So by the 1st of January, nobody's going to be campaigning on spending trillions of dollars on nonsense. So and I think by mid-November, this Congress adjourns the rest of the year. So they only have a few weeks to try to cram some afterbirth through the system.
It looks like they're shrinking that $3.5 trillion social welfare bill by taking stuff out of it. The latest is to take away free community college.
Free community college. Is that not a joke? Community college is cheap as hell. What's the point of it? And you know what? 70% of people who go to community college don't even complete the 2 years. It's babysitting for a lot of people. What are we paying for that? I mean, that is such wasteful nonsense. And what's going to happen? They're going to start. See, that's what creates inflation. You're going to be giving out more free stuff, and so people will have more money that they're not spending on education to spend on buying food or all kinds of clothes, anything that you buy in a store. That creates more of a money supply and drives prices up. Because now the way you take away their rent, you're going to take away their education obligations.
All right, when we come back, we'll still be in Bidenville to focus on the border. The numbers that keep coming in every month are stunning. The number of apprehensions or encounters. We'll talk about that. Also, your chance for some money. The key word to text is next.
Valley 10 KFI Deborah Marquez News.
Anti-Asian hate crimes in LA County jumped 76% last year compared to 2019. From 25 to 44, that was the biggest number of such crimes reported since 2001. The Port of Oakland is offering to help relieve the backlog of ships off Southern California's coast. And Wallet Hub says LA is the best city in the U.S. for soccer fans. We'll go to the 405, and we will check in with the KFI in the Sky next.
If you thought you missed the lowest mortgage rates in history, you're in luck, because they're back. Mortgage rates are near historic lows again. So if you have a mortgage, refinance it and forget it. You'll never have to worry about refinancing again. Network Capital Funding is offering a low 15-year fixed rate at 1.75% with a 1.94 APR. Incredible! Network Capital has built a reputation for saving people time and money with our unique process that's fast, simple, and secure. Our 15-year fixed rate is 1.75% with a 1.94 APR. Now, second chances don't come often, and you may never see these rates again. So refinance it and forget it. That's a 15-year fixed at 1.75%. Yes, 1.75% with a 1.94 APR. Call the experts at Network Capital now. Call 800-500-1-HIT. 800-500-1-HIT. As in home run. Call now and save big on your refi. 800-500-1-HIT. 800-500-1448. NMLS ID 11712. Not licensed in all states. Visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Licensed by the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation and the Financing Law. Number 603D787. And equal opportunity. Rates subject to change and may not be available at law. This is law. Subject to approval. Call 800-500-1448 for additional cost information.
This is Laser Out. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by the NHL on TNT.
The Lakers couldn't open up the season with a win despite 34 from LeBron and 33 from AD. Steph Curry had a triple-double as the Warriors got it done at the Staples Center. The Clippers will also start their season against the Warriors, heading to San Francisco tomorrow without center Serge Ibaka, who'll sit as he rehabs his back injury. And Julio Urias starts on 2 days rest for the Dodgers against the